Have you ever found yourself staring at a new, incredibly powerful piece of technology, maybe feeling completely overwhelmed by the sheer volume of setup instructions? What if there was a clearer path, maybe a shortcut even, to cut through all that complexity and get right to the essential steps to bring it to life? Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're doing a deep dive into SAP's AI Copilot, Joule. And this isn't just about understanding, what Joule is at a high level. We want to look precisely at how it gets integrated into your existing SAP systems. We're talking about a streamlined, unified activation process that promises to simplify its deployment across different business areas.
That's exactly right. Joule is, well, it's an AI copilot designed for comprehensive activation and really seamless integration across multiple lines of business. We're talking about crucial areas like HR with SAP SuccessFactors and core enterprise stuff with SAP S/4HANA Cloud. What's absolutely key is that all of this is unified through the SAP Business Technology Platform, BTP, sort of like its central nervous system. The goal really for companies is an efficient setup, getting productive with AI quickly without, the usual integration headaches.
Right. So our mission for this deep dive is to pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge from that, often intricate activation process. We want to give you a clear roadmap, help you understand this critical integration, and hopefully offer some practical insights, maybe even a surprising fact or two, so you walk away feeling well-informed and ready to leverage Joule. Okay, so let's begin with a big picture then. Why go through a unified setup for an AI copilot in the first place? It's not just about enabling one specific application, is it?
No, not at all. And that unified approach, that's where the real power lies. It delivers some pretty significant benefits. Imagine having a single, streamlined integration point that drastically cuts down on duplication, on maintenance efforts across all your different SAP solutions.
Okay, so less duplicated effort. That sounds good already.
Exactly. And it's not just theory. We hear about customers completing the core setup in maybe 15 to 20 minutes if their prerequisites are all lined up.
15 to 20 minutes, really? That sounds incredibly fast for enterprise software.
It can be, yeah. Beyond speed, you also get central identity and landscape management. That simplifies user access, data security across the whole enterprise. Plus, it's built on a scalable architecture, so it's easy to extend Joule's capabilities to new lines of business later on as the organization grows or changes. It's really about building a robust kind of future-proof foundation.
Okay, that makes sense. But before you even get close to that 15-minute setup, you mentioned prerequisites.
Absolutely. Before you even think about starting any hands-on configuration, there are some crucial prerequisites. And, this raises an important question. Why is getting these right so critical for a smooth activation?
Yeah, why? What happens if you skip ahead?
Well, frankly, without them, you're likely to hit some frustrating roadblocks, delays, maybe even extra costs from having to backtrack and fix things. Think of it like assembling flat pack furniture. If you don't have all the right screws or the instructions, you're just going to struggle, right?
Yeah, been there. Okay, so what are these prerequisites? Let's list them out.
Okay. First, your organization must have commercial entitlement for Joule. It's not free. It needs proper licensing.
Right. Step one, make sure you've actually bought it.
Exactly. Second, you'll need SAP BTP Global Administrator access. This is like your master key, giving you the permissions to configure and manage services on the BTP platform.
Okay, admin rights.
Got it. Along with that, your unique SAP BTP Global Account ID must be ready. Think of it as your company's digital address within the SAP cloud. It's vital for registration.
Your BTP address, check.
Fourth, you need to verify that Joule services are actually entitled under entitlements within your SAP BTP system. You need to see them listed there. If not, you don't have the digital rights yet.
So double-checking the entitlements within BTP itself.
Yes. And closely related, entitlements for SAP Build Work Zone, specifically the Standard Edition Foundation Plan, are also required. This often forms the user interface where Joule interacts with employees, so it's a critical piece.
Okay, Work Zone Foundation Plan 2.
Lastly, SAP Cloud Identity Services must be properly set up and connected to all the relevant SAP systems you plan to integrate. Without a solid identity foundation, secure and seamless communication between all these different apps it won't happen.
Thinking about all those things up front definitely seems like a massive time saver, like, a chef prepping ingredients before cooking. But for a big company, maybe with complex older systems, how easy is it really to get all those ingredients perfectly aligned? Is that 15-20-minute setup always realistic?
That's a fair point. The 15-20 minutes is certainly achievable when the prerequisites are genuinely met. Where companies often stumble is maybe underestimating that pre-work. especially around identity services or just confirming all entitlements are active and correct. For larger organizations, yeah, this initial audit phase can definitely take longer, but the payoff in a smooth activation later is huge. Once those foundational bits are verified, the actual setup process itself is remarkably structured. It's designed to give you that unified experience.
Okay, so assuming we've done our homework, checked all the boxes on the prerequisites,
Right.
what's the very first step in actually activating Joule?
Right. So once you have the green light, the first kind of conceptual step is planning and commercial activation. This basically means contacting your SAP account executive to formally activate Joule for your SAP BTP Global account.
So talking to SAP first.
Yes. And a critical best practice here, I really can't stress this enough, is to ensure you're using a single or common SAP BTP Global account to host all your shared services for Joule. This dramatically simplifies integration with all your line of business apps later, preventing future fragmentation.
Use one central BTP account for everything Joule related. Makes sense.
After that comes confirming your access rights, which brings us to step 2, checking entitlements. In your SAP BTP system, you navigate to Entitlements and then Service Assignments. You'll just search for Joule and confirm it's available there. And you also need to confirm that SAP Build Work Zone Standard Edition Foundation Plan is listed. If anything's missing, that's a red flag. You need to stop and resolve it before going further. Otherwise, the next steps will just fail.
That sounds like a crucial pre-flight check, definitely. So once we're sure we're properly entitled and our foundational accounts are in order, what's the next logical move for actually getting these systems talking to each other securely?
Okay, groundwork laid. The real connection starts with system registration. This is a key part of what SAP calls Unified Customer Landscape, or UCL, management. You go into the SAP BTP cockpit, find System Landscape, and then select Systems. What's pretty neat here is that many of your existing SAP S/4HANA Cloud and SuccessFactors systems should actually be auto-discovered by BTP.
Oh, okay, so it might find them automatically.
Often, yes. If not, you can manually register them. For each system you want Joule to talk to, you select it and then generate a unique communication token. Think of this token as like a secure, temporary key, a digital handshake that lets your SAP applications register themselves with BTP, setting up a trusted communication channel.
A token for each system.
Right. For SAP S/4HANA Cloud, you take this token and use it within a specific section called Maintain Extensions on SAP BTP in that system. For SuccessFactors, you go to its Extension Center and add the integration token there. The final check for this step: validate that all your systems show a registered status back in SAP BTP. If they don't, something went wrong with that token exchange.
What could go wrong there?
Well, a common mistake is letting the token expire before you finish the integration on the application side. They're usually time limited for security. If that happens, you just have to generate a new one and try again.
Ah, okay. So act fast once you generate the token.
Sure.
Makes sense. Establishing that initial secure line of communication is vital. So systems registered. What's the next big architectural decision for performance?
That takes us to step 4, subaccount data center planning. This is a really crucial decision for getting that unified experience and good performance. You'll need to align your BTP subaccounts for both production and non-production use. Think of these subaccounts as your dedicated workspaces or project folders within BTP.
So separate spaces for test and live.
Exactly. And the key here is choosing the data center region that is physically nearest to your existing SAP applications. Why? Well, it helps significantly reduce latency, makes Joule respond faster, it keeps that unified access smooth across your landscape. You want your AI Copilot snappy, not lagging, while data travels across the globe.
Right, keep it local if possible. Good tip.
After that planning, the next practical step, number 5, is to create and configure your SAP BTP subaccount. You'll create a new subaccount right in SAP BTP's Account Explorer. Again, pick a region geographically close to your SAP apps. Within this new subaccount, you need to enable Cloud Foundry, that's SAP BTP's application development environment, and then create a dedicated space specifically for your Joule setup. This space is like a specific folder within your subaccount, keeping your Joule configuration nicely contained.
Okay, new subaccount, enable Cloud Foundry, create a dedicated space. Then we get to what sounds like a core security layer. Step 6, trust configurations. This sounds like it's all about ensuring secure access, which is, well, absolutely critical in any enterprise system, right?
Paramount, yes. In your newly created subaccount, you establish trust with SAP Cloud Identity Services. It's basically telling your BTP subaccount that it can securely talk to and rely on your main identity service for authenticating users.
Making sure BTP knows who to trust for logins.
Precisely. And this is really important. You'll add all the relevant SAP application URLs as trusted domains. And here's the key detail you need to do this in both the BTP subaccount and in SAP Cloud Identity Services. It needs to match. This dual configuration ensures consistent trust across the whole landscape, allowing secure, seamless communication between all your integrated systems and Joule. Without that synchronization, you'd hit authentication walls constantly.
Okay, configure trust in both places. Got it. What's next?
Moving on to step 7, assigning entitlements and activating SAP Build Work Zone. Remember checking for the Work Zone entitlement earlier. Now you actually assign it to your new subaccount. Then, from the service marketplace within BTP, you activate both the Instance Foundation Plan and the Subscription Foundation Plan for Work Zone.
Both the instance and the subscription.
Yes. Think of it as enabling the core service itself, and then your right to actually use it via subscription. Once activated, you create service keys. These keys are vital. They contain credentials, connection details, like a secure digital passport for Joule to access other systems. They are absolutely essential for several later steps, especially when you configure the destinations.
Service keys, like API keys, sort of.
Similar concept, yeah. They hold the technical connection info. Then, step 8 is assigning rules. To manage Joule and Work Zone effectively, the Launchpad admin role needs to be assigned to the necessary users or admin team in that BTP subaccount. This grants them the specific permissions needed to administer and configure these critical services, ensures the right people have the right level of access.
Okay, admin roles assigned. Now for what sounds like the moment of truth. All that foundational work seems to culminate in step 9, running the Joule booster.
Exactly. This is where it really comes together.
What makes this booster so powerful is that it sounds like a guided activation, pulling everything together neatly.
It is. You go to Booster in your SAP BTP Global account and launch the Joule booster. It's a series of guided steps, almost like an installation wizard. You select your subaccount and the space you created earlier. Then you choose the specific SAP systems you want to integrate with Joule, say, your S/4HANA Cloud and SuccessFactors instances. You specify if it's for testing or a full production environment. You can select the specific capabilities you want to provision to your Joule instance too.
Capabilities, like which specific AI features?
Potentially, yeah, depending on how Joule evolves and what's offered. And finally, you finalize the system connections by choosing a unique formation name for Joule. This formation is just SAP's term for logically grouping your connected systems. Makes it easier to manage and scale the integrated landscape later. The booster then validates all your settings and completes the Joule activation, typically, as we said, in just a matter of minutes. It's incredibly quick once all those prerequisites are genuinely sorted.
Wow. Okay, so the booster handles the heavy lifting of connecting everything based on the prep work.
Precisely, but don't stop there. The final, crucial phase, step 10, involves post-activation tasks.
Right. Don't just run the booster and walk away.
Definitely not. First, you'll want to validate those new formations in your system landscape view in BTP. These logical groupings of your SAP systems should all show a ready status. If not, it means something in the booster run didn't fully connect and you need to investigate. Next, you need to configure the necessary destinations in your BTP subaccount, and you'll use the service key details you meticulously created earlier to do this.
Okay, that's where the service keys come back in.
Yes. These destinations tell Joule precisely how to connect to and communicate with your different applications. They act like a detailed, secure address book for the systems. Finally, and this is the ultimate check, you validate that SAP Build Work Zone and Joule services are actually live, and that all your systems are properly linked and communicating. So what does this all mean? It means your AI Copilot is truly ready for action, ready to start streamlining business processes and, enhancing productivity for your users.
That whole process, while it has quite a few steps, does sound remarkably streamlined thanks to that unified BTP approach.
Nah.
And the guide clearly provides these vital best practices to ensure success and keep things running smoothly later on.
Absolutely. And if we connect this back to the bigger picture, these best practices are really about maintaining that seamless, efficient setup long-term. For account planning, the recommendation is always centralize those shared services in a single global BTP account. Reduces complexity, avoids future management headaches.
Keep it simple with one main account.
Yeah. For entitlement management, the advice is double-check everything before you even start the setup process. It saves immense time and frustration later.
Measure twice, cut once, basically.
Exactly. When it comes to trust and security, consistently synchronizing those trusted domains across all your systems is paramount for secure and smooth operation. One mismatch can break the communication chain. For booster execution, the key, as we've hammered home, is ensure all prerequisites are completed before you run it. That ensures that smooth, rapid activation. And finally, for post-go live, validate system readiness immediately after activation. And then, importantly, maintain regular administration to keep things optimal. Ensure the AI stays integrated properly as your landscape inevitably evolves.
That makes sense. Ongoing care and feeding is needed. But what about those inevitable moments when something just doesn't quite go as planned? What are some quick troubleshooting tips to get back on track without, pulling out too much hair?
Good question. Happens to everyone. One common issue. Systems don't appear in your BTP landscape or you can't add them. First thing, go back and reconfirm your entitlement and contract status. Often it's a licensing or maybe an access issue you need to sort out with your SAP account executive.
Check the paperwork first.
Usually the quickest check. If you're working with SuccessFactors and you find a missing extension center, the place you put the token, that's usually because it hasn't been activated yet within SuccessFactors itself. You can typically switch it on via SFSF provisioning or the upgrade center there.
So it's a SuccessFactors setting, not a BTP one.
Correct. And for more complex token or landscape issues, maybe a system just refuses to register despite all your checks. The most efficient path is often to raise a ticket with SAP support. Just make sure to provide all the details, system ID, tenant, data center info, to help them diagnose it quickly. A bit of detail up front saves hours of back and forth later.
Right. Give support the info they need. Okay, so we've successfully navigated what seems like an intricate yet ultimately streamlined process for activating SAP's Joule AI Copilot. We've tried to transform what could be a dense technical manual into, hopefully, easily digestible knowledge.
Yeah, and I think the real power here isn't just in the AI itself, though that's obviously important. It's in this strategic, unified setup that simplifies user access, strengthens data security, and centralizes administration. This whole approach really allows for rapid deployment and, crucially, future scalability across the enterprise landscape. It's about leveraging that strategic, centralized approach for powerful integration, really making the complex manageable and putting AI directly into the hands of your users where it can make a difference.
Absolutely. So here's a final provocative thought for you listening. Thinking about how this unified setup streamlines a complex integration like Joule. Where else in your professional life, or maybe even your personal life, could a booster, more guided, centralized activation approach dramatically simplify a process you're currently finding overwhelming? How might shifting to that kind of thinking unlock new capabilities, maybe new efficiencies for you, freeing up time and energy for what truly matters? Something to mull over. Join us next time for another deep dive.